What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Sports here, and I'm back with another video. As you can see by the title, this is another Blue Jays video. I've been trying to make those videos for you guys. This video is going to be why the Blue Jays may or may not trade Josh Donaldson. Now, this has been a little bit of a touchy subject for Jays fans, and I can completely understand. I am a fan myself, and hearing the talks of arguably the face of the franchise for the last couple of years is kind of hard to hear. Now, obviously, we know Josh Donaldson, star third baseman. We got him in the deal with Oakland for Brett Lawrie, and of course there were some prospects involved that are doing okay with the Oakland Athletics. He is the 2015 American League MVP. He has been fantastic for the Blue Jays this year. He's had some injury trouble, and I was reading an article by, here I have it on my laptop, Jonah Carey. Sorry, I didn't want to mess up his name, just so that way I'm giving the credit where it's due. He made an article talking about the Blue Jays and maybe trading Josh Donaldson. They're obviously not doing that great this year, the Blue Jays, and we all know that they don't have the greatest start, but there is a lot of games left. But you have to start to look at the Jays roster and look at their payroll, which I have pulled up over here that I'll probably be referring to in a little bit. And you look at the guys that are locked up, and it's mostly some of our veteran players like Tulo, Russell Martin, and then we have Kendrys Morales. He will be a free agent very soon, unless the Jays lock him up. And I believe it would be the 2018 winter meetings when he would be considered a free agent. So the Blue Jays have some decisions to make. Now, obviously, if it gets closer to the deadline, which this is very premature, this is very early in the season to be talking about this, but it kind of got the conversation rolling, and I want to bring it up later to see where we're at, later towards the trade deadline. Do you trade Donaldson now for assets, and maybe look at trading some other players on your roster, or do you wave Donaldson around and see if you could trade him, and then, keep the other veterans and try to stock up on some prospects that may be ready to come in now? Because, like I said, Josh Donaldson has been fantastic. He's a great hitter, 2015 American League MVP, and he could fetch you a lot. Now, in this article, it also explains that his defensive side of the game hasn't been that great in the last couple years. It's kind of regressed, and obviously that's a bit of an issue, and that's probably something that teams would look at. But when you're a team that's contending and there might be holes on third base, I believe the teams noted in here were the Cardinals that may want some depth and may need a third baseman. The Astros could use him at third. The Red Sox and the Yankees would be tough. I'm not sure trading them to those two would be good for the Blue Jays. Again, it's just tough because they're division rivals. But it's time to think about this. If you're the Toronto Blue Jays, you're probably already thinking of scenarios. But one thing that I kept thinking about was, why don't the Blue Jays just build around Donaldson? Well, it's tough, because if you're going to strip down and do a full rebuild, Josh Donaldson's probably not going to be he won't want to be a part of that. So if you're the Blue Jays, do you go, okay, well, now it's time to trade guys like Bautista, it's time to trade guys like Tulo, Martin, Donaldson all at once and just build up the farm? Or do you kind of go, okay, well, we can live with keeping Kendrys and Tulo and Russell until their contracts expire, or until we need to move them. Shop Donaldson, shop Bautista, and, get some maybe more ready prospects to come in. You probably won't fetch as much for Bautista, but you may get a lot for Josh Donaldson. I mean, you should get a lot for Josh Donaldson. And then you have to consider this. J Happ is going to be going into free agency very soon because the Jays may not lock him up. You also have Liriano and Estrada that are going to be set to become free agents next year. So you have to also look at that. The Blue Jays may be looking to make some trades to bring in some younger pitchers, some younger prospects, because there's not a ton of players that'll be on the books. You're going to have to go through arbitration with a lot of, like, Travis, Stroman, Sanchez. It's going to be a lot of work. And, Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro are going to have to really lock down and see what the options are. Because if, like I said, trading Donaldson is probably the biggest move that the Blue Jays can make. This is their guy. This is the guy that is arguably the best player on the team. And unfortunately, what players are like basically counting down the days to go to free agency, and I guess you can't really blame them. They're going to get a big payday, and Josh Donaldson will be 33 years old when he gets there. That's not too bad for him, obviously, and he definitely would love to get a big contract like any other player would, and I can't really blame him for that. But do you take a chance and try to re-sign Donaldson and somehow work him into building? What Jonah Carey says is that might affect how the Blue Jays payroll is in the coming years, which I can agree with. You know, you're going to have to try to keep Sanchez and Stroman around, and you know, if you have to keep some of these other guys around like Travis and all that, you're going to have to give them money, and it's not cheap. Baseball, you know, there's big contracts. Keeping Donaldson is a bit of a gamble, and sometimes it's not worth that risk, and I would love to keep Donaldson around, but I'm also not in position to do that. And it's going to be a difficult situation for Shapiro and Atkins. And obviously, it's very early in the season. The Blue Jays could very well storm all the way back up and, you know, win a division, but it would have to take some really superior play and 500-plus baseball. So let me know what you guys think. Tell me in the comments if you keep Donaldson, what kind of trade scenarios you would come up with. And yeah, there's been some rumors going around that maybe even Osuna's being looked at for a trade option. The Nats are interested in him, and he hasn't been having a great year. So let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe if you want to. I'd love for you to subscribe just so you guys can see more of these videos, and we can talk baseball, hockey, whatever you guys want to talk. And yeah, go support other YouTubers. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.